We keep saying they are doing this, but they are doing this to all of us.
To everyone.
That's
they want to affect every person's right to vote, not just rural communities, not just the underserved communities, everyone, even the white man. Welcome back to the Around the District podcast. I'm Gabrielle Mazar.
I'm Nicole Brown.
And today we have Maritza Saenz of Protect the Vote, and we're going to talk about the Protect the Vote initiative and what it means for voters across Arizona. So welcome to the show today.
Thank you both for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Protect the Vote and what is that and what does it mean?
Yeah, so it's a citizens initiative, which means we want to put this into the Constitution. What is it? It is the question,
Yeah.
right? So I love for folks to think back at how they voted in the general and the primary election. That's what we're trying to protect.
Yeah.
So if you voted early in person, early by mailing in your ballot, if you voted in person on Tuesday, because that's the exciting thing to do, however it is that you voted, all we want to do is take that from the statute, what is law, and just put it up into our Constitution. So it's that much harder to take away those rights. And again, it's convenience. It's our right as Arizona voters, and really it's to protect the future of our ballot. And as you all know, we have so many things that are attacking it.
So many. And we're going to get into that, but
Should we back up just a second, just learn a little bit about you?
Yeah.
Because who are you, by the way?
Yeah.
I know who you are, but who are you?
Isn't that the question we all ask
Yeah,
ourselves?
yeah.
Who am I?
And then, how you got involved in this initiative.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started my career in politics knocking doors at 10 years old. And my dad would take me door to door. We were actually canvassing for a city council member in South Phoenix. And you cannot slam the door on a kid. And you can't be mean to a kid. So there I was, pushed in the front. Since then, I've worked on many different initiatives and candidate campaigns. I was the first Latina, the first mom to be the executive director of the Maricopa County Democratic Party. I was able to go work for some amazing funders after that provided funding for democracy groups here in Arizona, along with some economic groups here in Arizona. Then I landed at Lumen Strategies with an amazing team of people who we sit around and we ask, someone should do something about that. Someone, that's bad. Someone. And I'm sure as the two of you know, that someone ends up being you.
Yeah.
So with the help of some really great election lawyers, Congressman Yasmin Ansari and her team and all of her network behind us, that someone became this really great group of community folks. And that's where this initiative came from, is we saw, even before President Trump's Save Elections Act came into place, we started talking about this. And then we have seen so many times for years now, the Arizona State Legislature trying to take away such big things such as our ballots, early ballots, trying to shorten the time that we have to vote. So that's where all of this came from. That's how I got involved in this. And it's been hopeful. And it's been great. And it's been something that our volunteers have felt like I can stop screaming at the TV and I can just get out into the community and ask people, hey, don't you like the way you vote? Why don't you sign this initiative? Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's just amazing to me that people want to get rid of a mail-in ballot when they mail in ballots and vote themselves.
Right. And it's been around for 30 years in Arizona.
And Arizona, our elections are pretty secure.
Right.
Yes.
I've been down to what's the name of that?
The county recorder's
the county recorder's office.
Yeah.
Before the current, but I've been there, and I was very impressed with what they do and how they, take care of the ballots, and so that things don't get lost or, challenged as much as they were in the past. And so I just find it amazing that, when you yourself mail in ballots, want to get rid of it for other people. I have a military background, not myself, but my husband and my father. And if you go overseas, you can't be here to vote. So that's one of the things that, why would you want to take that away from people who are fighting for this country?
Yeah,
exactly.
If you're disabled, if you're elderly, if you live in a rural community, first of all, we know exactly why they want to do that. But yeah, I mean, if there's a million reasons as to why you want to do that, why they should have the availability of these mail-in ballots, but there's also reasons as to why they want to.
I mean, we know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, we know the reasons.
Yeah. But yeah, why are we taking away ballots from people that can't get to the ballot box?
Absolutely.
If you can't take off work, how many other countries it's a national holiday that you take off that day? You don't go to work that day to vote.
Right.
They give you the day off to vote. It is a paid holiday. Not here. Yeah, I mean it's absurd,
right? And it should be like any other Tuesday, right? You know, for some people, it's very emotional to go and vote, or it's very emotional to fill in their ballot. I am one of those people, but for others, hey, it's a Tuesday, right? This is what I do.
I would say for me too, because people died for my right to vote. People in the '60s, you know, there was a year when African Americans were able to vote, but they didn't know it. You know what I mean? Then there was, until 1965, really most Black people couldn't vote. 1965, like I was almost born. I wasn't, but I was not in 1965, but I was born some years after that, not too many years after that.
Many years after that.
And okay, I'll take that. But it's like 1965. That means that those people right now are like in their 60s.
Exactly.
That's not long ago. No. So, and when you look back on our history in the United States and on the civil rights movement, you will see that people had hoses sprayed at them, dogs beaten, just because they wanted to vote.
Yeah.
And so why would we want to go back to that?
And we are, right? I mean, there are threats of sending federal law enforcement to voting centers. It is.
We noticed that in the last election where people are trying to intimidate other people into not voting, especially people who are not born in the United States, but are legal citizens of the United States. And it's like, this initiative wants to protect voting by mail, early in-person voting, election day voting. So can you explain the idea of automatically receiving a ballot? Isn't that part of the initiative for everybody or no?
Yeah, so there have been folks down at the state legislature that want us to have to ask for an early ballot every single election. And I don't know about you all, but I forget where my keys are. I forget what I ate for, so this is something, again, that should just be second nature. It should be automatic.
Yeah.
So what
you're registered to vote and you request an early ballot, you should receive an early ballot.
Exactly. That's it. And that's it. And it should just be automatic. It should be permanent. We should have a permanent early voting list.
Correct.
That's what this will do.
Yeah.
And then also what it can do for folks is that, again, it should just be so easy, because the hard part is going and looking at all of our judges and school board members. That's the hard part, right? Is researching. The easy part should be able to get your ballot or go in place. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say something about that too. Like, I like to receive my ballot early because it takes me time. Like, I sit with it. I might fill out here and there, but I sit and I research who I'm voting for, what I'm voting for. And it's like, you take your time. I don't want to go to the ballot box and stand in there and do all that. Like, I sit at my kitchen table, maybe while I'm eating dinner, but it's the convenience of being at home and having your ballot at home, taking your time to either fill it out as opposed to going to the ballot box to fill it out there. And maybe I don't mail it in the mailbox. Maybe I drop it off.
Exactly.
At the drop-off box.
Yeah, are the drop boxes an issue too? Or part of this initiative?
No. The drop boxes are part of our voting centers. And so way back when I first cast my first ballot in person when I was 18, not too long ago, we had to go to a specific precinct, right? We had we had to stay within our precinct. We had to vote there. So the voting centers now allow me, who live all the way in the West Valley, work downtown, to drop things off downtown, right? So, and that, again, that's just the voting center. So those are under attack as well.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I was going to ask about that.
Let's go back to precinct voting. It's just not possible. We're too busy.
Well, and they're having less of them.
Right.
So they're trying to have fewer drop-offs and fewer voting
Yes.
locations.
And also the timing on it is also something that this protects. So this protects that voting to go all the way until Monday before the election as opposed to Friday. And it states that in the initiative. It'll state that in our Constitution once this is passed. So that is protected as well because they do want to shorten that time as well. As you said, it takes us a lot of time to vote.
Because people work all day.
Exactly.
So I know like the voting centers will be open like 7 a.m. or so. So that means if you're a working mom and you have kids or dad, and then you have to get your kids ready and off to school and be able to get to a voting place either before or after, and you have pickup, drop off kids, you know. So that's not conducive for a lot of people, right? It just makes it harder. So this initiative is protecting their right to be able to do that, to vote, you know, anywhere without having to be a time constraint on getting it done.
And it sounds so simple, right?
It's very simple.
It sounds easy. And it sounds, we've always, as you mentioned, our elections are run very well. Our voter ID laws here in Arizona are very restrictive. They're some of the strictest in the country. And we've been able to do a lot of really good things on the ballot with those strict guidelines on our ID. That's what this all protects. It's the same thing.
And it protects means that they're already in place. So if this initiative if it fails, then our rights are just taken away. It's something that's taken from us. That's already in place. That things
are in place, that have been in place. It's not
nothing new. This will all be new. They're taking all of this away.
Just like what happened with the Supreme Court.
Correct.
Let's talk about
let's talk about the different layers of government that are all colluding together, and they are really. And I'm talking Supreme Court. Congressional members, obviously our executive branch, and then here locally, you know, we have a lot of minions that are here that are just trying to do the same thing and reflect that nationally. And I think that we are going to continue to see this, but what we can do with this initiative is make it so that, hey, Arizona voters have said what they want. They said how they want to vote. And again, the Supreme Court will take this up because it will be fought in court.
And that's concerning.
And that is extremely concerning that there are people
that would take this away. This is why local elections matter. This is why you have to go and vote your local elections because who we vote for in our local elections, it goes all the way up to the national election and to the president, and who that president is will determine what the Supreme Court looks like. And they need term limits, just my opinion.
And I think what people may not understand too about this is that like this affects everybody. It's not a
Democrat.
It's not a Democrat or Republican. It's not just underserved community. This affects everybody. If this happens this affects all Arizonans. This goes up to the federal level. This affects all people in the United States. So it's like it's a trickle down to all the people, and it's not like, oh, but I can register to vote.
You can. But your mother may not be able to, your sister, your cousin, grandmother, you know.
It's not necessarily like, okay, you might get kicked off the voter rolls. You might not get an early, but you don't know. You don't know. Like, it's not that you're going to be protected because you don't know. So this idea that like, oh, well, this is free and fair elections, bull. I'm a citizen. I'm this. Well, no, not necessarily. Like, you will be affected by this, whether it is you personally or someone you know, love, and care about. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, or maybe it's someone you work for or work with. Maybe it is going to be across the board affecting everybody.
And I think people don't realize that.
No, they don't. When 70% of Arizona voters get their mail-in ballot, they don't understand 70% means Republicans, Independents, and Democrats. It is not. It may seem like there is just one party that against this, but an entire group of Arizona voters will be impacted by bad decisions. And you know, we have rural counties that are very Republican. This is going to impact them if we do not save their ability to mail in, including, you know, obviously our tribal folks and their ability to go and just pop it in the mail. I know in some places that's hard to do, is just to mail it. So I definitely think that is correct. It impacts we keep saying they are doing this, but they are doing this to all of us.
To everyone.
That's correct.
They want to affect every person's right to vote, not just rural communities, not just
Exactly.
the underserved communities, everyone, even the white man, everyone. It is, if they can suppress everyone's vote, they can control everything.
Absolutely.
That is what they're trying to do. It is not just specific populations in specific areas. It is everyone. It will affect everyone.
Yes.
And that is,
I think too, like as a woman, and then as for me as a woman of color, you as a woman of color, even you as a woman, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These are things that our country fought for years.
Correct.
Yes.
We're going backwards.
Yes.
And I can't believe that this is 2026.
I know.
And we're having these arguments that our parents literally had and grandparents had before we were even born.
Right.
And right now we had more rights, but then those of you with children will have less rights than
my parents
had, or then you know what I mean. It's just, it doesn't seem real to me. I don't understand how we are here. I mean, I do understand how we are here. Yeah. But it is amazing that we are literally here, and people don't realize that's what's happening in America.
Yeah.
You know, today in Arizona, you're right. A lot of what's in the big beautiful bill that the current president has put out there is in the Arizona bill that the governor just had to veto because of the restrictions and rights that are taken from average everyday Arizonians who need it, especially in rural communities. Right. You know, whether we agree, it's to your point, it is a problem for everybody. It's not a problem just for Democrats or Republicans or independents. It's a problem for everybody.
Exactly.
And I want people to really understand that impact.
And they also need to understand the fact that, so let's talk about just the hours. You know, what's the big deal? What if cut it down by an hour? Let's cut it down by a couple of days. Well, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and then it starts with the drop boxes.
Yeah. Right.
And then it starts with, you have to show your ID when you're just trying to drop off your ballot. You need to show ID for everyone that isn't. And again, when we have some strict voter ID laws just to register to vote. So the fact that I have this ballot already validates me as a voter.
Right.
Every single time that we take away a little something, they're going after something bigger. There's a bigger picture.
Yeah. And I remember working full time, and I would go on the weekend.
Exactly.
So is the weekend going to be taken away? Like, well, that because then I wouldn't have to miss any time from work, even though jobs should be giving you a day off to vote. But that's just my opinion. But would I have to take time off from work just to vote?
Exactly.
And then how many people can afford to do that? And so this little bit can become this much.
Exactly.
You know, and I think that's why you're like, we got to get this initiative.
We have to. We have to.
Like, what's the process of, you know, signatures needed? How many signatures are needed to get the initiative on the ballot?
So because this is a constitutional amendment, it takes 383,000 signatures, which really means we need 500,000 signatures. Yeah. The support for this has been overwhelming, to the fact that I have been able to go and talk to folks personally. It's a personal story, is that MAGA folks, letting them know, like, hey, this is not a Democratic issue. And like, oh yeah, I love my mail-in ballot. So 383,000 people need to sign this petition. We are gathering signatures by volunteers, which has been an overwhelmingly positive experience. Again, people feel hopeless. They're watching the news every single day. And what can I do other than just yell at the TV? In addition to
watching.
Yeah.
And I like to yell. I like to yell and
yelling at your TikTok.
I love it. I do. And so I'll do that and then go and collect signatures at the same time. So what this is, it's just hopeful that people can just say, and again, it is silly. Like, we're just trying to protect what we already have. We're not asking for anything more. This is ridiculous. So 383,000 signatures by July 2nd. We'll turn those in to the Secretary of State's office, and then we're off. And then we have to actually fight against another referendum that will be on the ballot that does the opposite of what this is trying to do.
But is this okay? So I think I heard something about that recently, where the opposition to this is wording it so that it's so similar you don't know which one you're signing.
Oh, always, right?
They always do that.
And the poor voucher initiative that AEA SOS is pushing is the same thing, right? They're tricking the same thing. Our Our website is protectthevoteaz.com. Do not forget the AZ, because then you go to protectthevote.com and it's a Republican website. So yeah, those kinds of things. And so the initial referendum, so the referendum that they had in the state legislature, that goes around our ability as citizens to get this on the ballot by giving a signature. Also goes around Governor Hobbs's veto pen. So they get to just put it on the ballot. And it was egregious. It was really bad, even worse than before we dropped this. Once we dropped this, they started reeling back a couple of the really bad things. So we know that this is something that will impact them. To your point, they're wording it so clearly the same. This is a threat to what they're trying to do. And again, they have taken away a couple of really bad things on their referendum. However, we cannot let those little things, because then they're going to take a big chunk out of what we have.
Yeah, because that's just for now.
Exactly.
But once they feel like it's safe again, they'll
take more.
Yeah. So we're here with Maritza Saenz of Protect the Vote. We're talking about how we're talking about the Protect the Vote initiative and what it means for voters across America, or across Arizona. Well, across America too, as a matter of fact. So you can go to Protect the Vote AZ to learn more about that. And we're going to come back with the next episode soon. So you can find more about her, and you can follow, like, share, and comment for us. This has been Around the Districts podcast. Follow us for the next episode.